Dark Souls is a great example of a game that makes many players rage quit out of pure frustration and anger, but those emotions aren't because the game is unfairly difficult. In fact, most players would agree that the vast majority of deaths are their own fault. So what if we took that premise of being difficult but fair and applied it to a puzzle game? My name is Graeldon, I'm reviewing Steam games in alphabetical order to uncover hidden gems, and this is Square. Let's dive in. The difficulty of Square comes from its core mechanics. Almost every level consists of a single screen, and the player controls a circle which is moved using WASD. You have a square projectile that you can control by either left-clicking to push it away from you, moving it towards your cursor, or by right-clicking to pull it towards you. The goal of each of the 45 levels is to destroy all of the enemies on screen, but there is a major catch. The square will also kill you. To further complicate things, the closer you are to the square, the further and faster it will move away from you. Conversely, as it moves towards you, the further it travels, the more it accelerates. If you don't react in time to fire it off in another direction, then it'll simply kill you. Thankfully, deaths here are merciful. It's only a matter of seconds before you're back in the action to make another attempt. And usually only a matter of seconds before you're back at a death screen. When you manage to get a good flow though, you feel like a masterful sniper who uses an extremely temperamental boomerang as their weapon of choice. It's an interesting mechanic, and one that I mastered quickly. Yeah, I don't think I felt fully in control even by the end of my 1 hour playtime, but I suspect that it's a skill issue rather than a mechanics issue. As I was playing, especially in the later stages when the difficulty ramps up, I often felt like I needed 4 sets of eyes. 1 to track myself, 1 to track the enemies, 1 to track the cursor, and 1 to track the square. Certainly not an easy feat, but if you're good at multitasking, you'll likely be good at this. I'm not good at multitasking. The good news is that most levels can be done at your own pace, as the square will eventually come to a rest, allowing you to position yourself for the next shot. The bad news is that as the levels go on, you will eventually reach a new chapter which will introduce a new mechanic, and this will force you to think and react faster than before. The first of these are obstacles that will move when you click. Some move only on a left click, some move only on a right click, and some will move on any click. These levels require a little more strategic planning and some quick reflexes to make sure that you don't get crushed. Chapter 3 adds in enemies that can only be destroyed when you're inside the circular zone that surrounds them, and a ball enemy that chases you constantly and must be the final enemy destroyed. If you're not on your toes at all times, you'll be dead extremely quickly. Looking at where the square is but not yourself? Dead. Looking at yourself but not the ball? Dead. Looking at the enemy but not the square? Dead. That said, with a bit of perseverance and luck, it's not too bad. At the end of the final level, you're given a summary screen with some stats. The only real purpose of this is to hurt your ego a little bit by telling you how many times you died during your playthrough of this simplistic puzzle game. 196 deaths in roughly 51 minutes means I died nearly every 15 seconds. If you're the kind of person that loves the difficulty level of Dark Souls games and can never quite get enough of them, then I have great news for you. After beating the game, you'll unlock a set of 7 bonus levels to really put your skills to the test. These levels introduce a couple of new mechanics. The square now leaves behind a trail that will destroy anything that touches it, and the ground is divided into sections that light up, killing the player if you happen to be touching it at the time. There's no reward for beating these levels, they are entirely optional. But I was having enough fun to warrant giving them a go, which is something that I haven't felt since I reviewed #Funtime 9 episodes ago. Overall, Square is a pretty solid if short experience. It's never unfairly difficult, and the clean, simple art style with music to match makes for a great combination. I wasn't sure what genre of game this belongs to though. The devs describe it on Steam as an action indie game, which I don't think is wrong, but I do think it's underplaying the puzzle elements of this game. There's a lot of trial and error and figuring out the best way to approach any given level, so I personally think that this falls into the relatively niche category of action puzzle games. Now, is this a game for everyone? Heck no. But if you want something that'll give you a bit of a challenge without overstaying its welcome, you could certainly do worse than this. And for a fairly reasonable price, it's worth checking out for an hour or so of fun. With all that in mind, my rating for Square is, well, a square out of 10. It's solid, reliable, and what you see is what you get, and you can't cut corners with a square. Thank you for watching. If you're enjoying these videos, why not help out by liking the video? And while you're there, make sure to subscribe if you want to see more of this weird gaming journey that I'm on. If you've already done both, then hey, thank you. And until next time, take care.